In international headlines this morning, Myanmar's deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been sentenced to 4 years in prison. You're looking here at file pictures that go back to October of 2020. A special court found Suu Kyi guilty of inciting public unrest and violating COVID-19 restrictions. She was arrested when the army seized power in a coup last February. Tessa Arcilia is on that story for us in London. Let's begin. We'll get the reaction globally, too, to what's been going on, this breaking news this morning, Tessa. But the trial itself and the sentencing of Aung San Suu Kyi, what further detail do we have?
Well, it's those details, Heather, that really is, I think, also driving the reaction we're getting globally. So what you said earlier with those two charges of inciting unrest and also of breaking COVID restrictions, those two got her 2 years each, so 4 years in total in prison. We understand that she has not been taken yet into custody at the moment. We're not sure when that will happen. But also, this is not the only charges she's facing. So these in particular, the breaking COVID restrictions, this happened during the election in 2020. They said that she waved to a group of supporters while she was wearing a mask and a face shield. And the incitement of unrest, that was because her political party at the time that she was arrested had supposedly encouraged opposition to the military coup. So those are the two things that she's been sentenced for. But as I said, there's a string of other multiple counts of corruption, of violating the Official Secrets Act, even taking illegal payments or being in possession of gold bars, Heather. And this, according to the sentencing, if put together, could get her about 100 years or more in prison. And a representative of a pro-democracy group there said that the goal is to simply keep her in prison. She is 76 years old now and not doing very well health-wise. Now, Heather, we know, we've been covering this story, she is a controversial figure. She's a Nobel laureate, yes, but her reputation took a hit when the Rohingya crisis had unfolded, when the military junta in the country was accused of crackdowns, violent crackdowns against the Rohingya people. And she defended that military government in 2019 at the International Court of Justice. And we know that Canada had stripped her of the honorary citizenship that it had given to her in 2007. They took that away in 2018. So a controversial figure. Nonetheless, her case is drawing attention because this entire trial happened behind closed doors. Heather, we don't really know much about what happened and how they got to that sentencing. Heather?
So because of that, Tessa, what has the global reaction been?
It's coming really fast now. We saw, just looking at the latest in the last hour, the European Union had condemned the, quote, politically motivated jailing of Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi. And here in the UK, we had the British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss earlier today saying this is another appalling attempt by Myanmar's military regime to stifle opposition and suppress freedom and democracy. And she was calling on the military to release political prisoners. And a lot of hard words. Heather, Amnesty International calling this a farcical trial on bogus charges. The UN rights boss Michelle Bachelet calling this a sham trial. We also heard from the Human Rights Watch. Take a listen to their condemnation of the sentencing.
The sentences themselves are ridiculous. You're talking about inciting public unrest, which is, something that the military has just made up. Again, you have her being cited for violating COVID regulations because a rally waved at her. I mean, there was plenty of people campaigning back in November 2020 for election, and it was candidates from all parties. But what we see is selective persecution and selective prosecution.
And we're keeping a close eye on reactions, Heather, also just because the situation in Myanmar remains fragile. More than 10,000 people have been arrested, and it's said that around 1,300 have been killed as well, according to local monitoring groups there. Heather?
Tessa Arcilia, thank you very much in London for us.